When someone has a noise complaint, they call the Department of Airports. What is the process for taking a complaint?
We have our airport operations officers take noise complaints. So the way that it happens is we train our airport operations officers on the geography, on aircraft, and everything else. So when somebody calls our number, which is actually a cell phone, they talk to somebody who is live. And what we request is whenever you experience a noise concern, you call immediately so that we're able to identify the aircraft and write it down. So we try to take down the incident information, what direction was the plane flying, how high they think the plane was, is it repeatedly happening, and try to take the contact information for that person. And what we do then is we talk to the control tower. We try to identify. We have software also that tells us how high the aircraft were, and we verify all those things, and then we will get back to the complainant if they have requested a callback. Sometimes they just call and say, I want to put in a complaint, and they don't request a callback, so we wouldn't call them back, but for the most part, we try to get back to them. If in fact, the aircraft has been doing something that we think is not that neighborly friendly, we actually talk to the pilot, and we try to educate them. We tell them, look, we received a complaint from this area, fly friendly. If the complaint is from somewhere else, or if we're unable to identify the aircraft, then it gets a little more difficult. But if it is local, we handle it in-house, and then we actually have gate notices that notify pilots how they should fly. So every pilot that comes through the airport's gate, they're able to see what we do, and our processes are also online on our website.
If a resident wasn't able to contact you right away, but they were to contact you an hour later and say at 7:04, here's my address, and at 7:04 a plane flew over my house, you guys can use your software to go back to that time and identify what aircraft was flying over that specific area at that time at that altitude? Is that correct?
If the aircraft is equipped with a software that is compatible with our software, yes, okay. Which is most likely.
Okay. And is there any situation where the Department of Airports would not take a complaint or refuse to take a complaint?
I don't think we've ever refused to take a complaint. Sometimes what we will get is we will get just somebody calling asking for general information, and they don't want to make a complaint. They don't want a formal complaint, so we won't log it in as a complaint. But if they call and it's a complaint, every call that comes in is treated as a complaint.
This is more of just a comment, just in the vein of this, of my questioning too. I only bring this up, I was going to bring it up in comments, but we have a Camarillo resident who had called, she's around Nancy Bush Park, she's called before to complain about aircraft flying over her home or the noise generated there from aircraft. And her last call, which I believe was in January, she was told that her complaint would not be recorded and or would not be taken and or filed. And so that worried me a little bit.
Well, what I would suggest is maybe it sounds like you probably have her contact information. If you can share that information with us, and we'll call her and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay, thank you.
Question. If you find that somebody has made too much noise, what's the corrective action? What are the sanctions? Are there fines, or what happens?
So, again, well, what I would say is people's perception of noise is different. What I can tell you is, a rock concert for somebody may be enjoyable, for others may not. When somebody calls to complain about noise, if it is an isolated situation and we see that none of the other neighbors are calling, and if we look at the software and it looks like, and we talk to the control tower and we talk to the pilot, and it looks like they're not doing anything wrong, I don't know if there's much that we can do. I mean, we can tell them to probably fly a little higher. At that point, it's up to the pilot in command, because he is the pilot of the ship, basically, to fly friendlier. We would encourage that, and if we continue to get more complaints, obviously we would continue to talk to them. But if it gets to a level where we're still getting complaints, the neighbor can call to the FAA and they can complain about that pilot. But I don't know if there's anything that we would be able to do.
In the past, though, we have taken noise measuring instruments to areas that have been getting consistent complaints to see what the noise level really is. So I think the last one, we took some to Spanish Hills.
And
That
it
is correct.
proved that the noise wasn't there. It didn't meet the city's noise.
Yeah. Typically, we find, and this is not justification, but it's just the way we've seen more noise out of the freeways than we have out of the airplane events.
Yep.
So,
In regards to noise, I just want to make one last comment is typically what happens is, for the most part, everybody's at work during the day. Where we start getting more complaints is whenever somebody starts working from home or they need the peace and quiet to work from home. Something that wasn't there before, and then they start seeing the aircraft noise as a nuisance. The other thing is sometimes people retire or they're not working. It's the weekend. Those are the times where we typically get more complaints. But it's people believe that the airports have been getting busier and busier throughout the years. What I can tell you is that in the early 2000s, these airports were busier than what they are right now by about 20-30%. So that's really what's going on.
Any other comments from Oxnard?
correspondence, number 9. Anything?
Unless you have any questions.
Recommend file. Miscellaneous handouts, none. Information, none. Authority comments for Camarillo.
I said my piece.
It is interesting that the one noise complaint from Camarillo was at Costco or in that area by all the way over there. And for low-flying aircraft, there aren't low-flying aircraft in that area, so it would have been interesting to find out what was happening because it showed multiple. Pardon me?
Perceptions.
Yeah. Because,
The question is, the perception of a low-flying airplane making too much noise. What's the reality?
yeah. And that's just got to be handled person to person, and they've been doing a pretty good job doing that.
I enjoyed seeing the Carnival blimp. It
Flying
flew
blimp.
over my house. It was great.
Okay, hearing none, I'll pass it to Oxnard.
Done. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, then I would move to adjournment.
Thank you.